Welcome to the Voice of Islam. The Voice of Islam is a weekly radio program organized by the Islamic Council of Jamaica, the umbrella organization for the Muslim community in Jamaica, to propagate the message of Islam, dispel the common misconceptions about Islam, and facilitate a medium to provide Islamic perspective on topical issues and alternative solutions. You may contact the Islamic Council of Jamaica at 648-9545. That's 648-9545. You are listening to the Voice of Islam. Before we begin, let's take a few minutes to listen to the recitation of verses selected from the final revelation to mankind, Al-Quran.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. And mention, O Muhammad, in the book the story of Mary when she withdrew from her family to a place towards the east. And she took in seclusion from them a screen. Then we sent to her our angel, and he represented himself to her as a well-proportioned man. She said, Indeed, I seek protection in the most merciful from you, so leave me, if you should be fearing of Allah. He said, I am only the messenger of your Lord to give you news of a pure boy. She said, How can I have a boy while no one has touched me and I have not been unchaste? He said, Thus it will be. Your Lord says, It is easy for me, and we will make him a sign to the people and a mercy from us, and it is a matter already decreed. So she conceived him, and she withdrew with him to a remote place.
You are listening to the Voice of Islam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Peace and blessings of the Most High to you all. We start everything in His name. This is your brother in humanity, Sulaiman ibn Musa Tijani. And today we're going to be looking at the fourth part in this series. And we're looking at the life of probably one of the greatest men to have ever stepped foot on the face of the earth, Moses, or as the Quran refers to him, Musa. May God's blessings be upon him, and we're going to be looking at him and his followers, the children of Israel. And this final part of this series, we're going to be looking at some of the life lessons, some of the life lessons that we can take from the life of Prophet Moses, Prophet Musa, and his people, Bani Israel, or the children of Israel. And the lessons that we can take not only from the life of Moses, but throughout the Quran are lessons that are individual, meaning how can each one of us learn how to better ourselves, lessons on a community level or a family level, how we can look to benefit our families and our communities, and then on a national level, how we can look to benefit the entire society and how the society can arrange itself in such a way where it takes beneficial lessons from these stories. And one of the great misconceptions that people have all the time, and you'll hear people say it, is that, about you Muslims, you believe in Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, but you don't believe in any other prophets. And that is so far from the truth. It's not even funny. In the Quran, in the final revelation that came from the Creator, chapter 2, verse 136, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, Allah, He says, in fact, he commands us, or he tells us what we must say when the people are saying to us things about, what do you believe about the prophets and so on. In the Quran, chapter 136, the Creator, he says, say, meaning us as Muslims, say to the people, what are we supposed to say to them? We as Muslims believe in God, the first thing. one dedicated God. We believe in God and in what was sent down to us. What was sent down to us? The Quran, the final revelation. And what was sent down to Abraham, to Ishmael, to Isaac, to Jacob, and the 12 tribes. And what was given to Moses and to Jesus and all the prophets by their Lord. So this is what we have been commanded to say. And so this is why we are saying this, because this is what the Quran tells us to say. And in the Quran, God says, and then say to them, we make no distinction between any of them. So when I say, boy, some of them were on something that is right, some of them were on something that is wrong, and we follow some of them, we don't follow some of them, not at all. We believe in every single one of them, and we don't make any distinction between any of them. And lastly, the Creator, He commands us to say, and we devote ourselves to who? To Him, to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. So far from this misconception that people have that we don't believe in the prophets of the past, not true. We believe in all of them, and we study their lives for lessons on how we can better ourselves and the people that are around us. So the men and the women of the past, we learn about their lives and we learn about their stories as a means of being better individuals. So we take them as role models. So now we're going to be going into, well, what are some of the lessons that we can gain from the life of Prophet Moses or Musa and his people, the children of Israel?
You are listening to the Voice of Islam.
So in the previous episode, we learned of the day of Ashura, the day that the Jews in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, used to recognize the liberation of Moses from Pharaoh, right? And what's so powerful about this story, and it shows us how close Musa, may the blessings of God be upon him, how close he is to us as Muslims, is the Prophet Muhammad said to them once they said this, the reason the Prophet Muhammad said he is closer to us. This is the evidence. He's closer to me. This is what the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said. So for us as Muslims, we have so much love and admiration for Moses, his family, and the children of Israel. So what is the first lesson? The Quran, the revelation from God, has so many mention of the Prophet Moses, over 120 times. In fact, one of the scholars of the past, they said the Quran was almost completely about the story of Moses. That's how many times he is mentioned in the Quran. It was almost completely the story of Prophet Moses, right? And in this story, in the Quran, the Creator, Allah, He says, and this is in the Arabic, and then we'll say it in the English. He says, نَتْلُو عَلَيْكَ مِن نَبَإِ مُوسَى وَفِرْعَوْنَ بِالْحَقِّ لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. The Creator, He says, what is being recited to you, what is being revealed to you it is from the story of Moses and Pharaoh in truth. For who? For people who believe in God. So this is absolutely pertinent that we understand that understanding who the creator of the heavens and the earth is, and then learning all these lessons, right? So the first lesson that we want to look at comes from the birth of Moses, the birth of Musa. May peace and blessings of God be upon him. In the Quran, the creator of the heaven and the earth, he said that an inspiration came to the mother of Moses. When she gave birth to Moses, the concern she had at that time is that Pharaoh was going around and killing the boys, the males that were born. So she's worried. She's fearful. What is she going to do? She just have a little baby boy. And think about it naturally as a mother. And many of us can understand this and we can empathize, even as men, that you just born and you are worried that he's going to be taken away from you. And just think about that as a mother, worrying that her child is about to be taken from her. So the Creator says he sent an inspiration to her and said, suckle him, bring him close, comfort him. But when you fear for him, cast him into the river. And do not fear, don't fret, and do not grieve. Indeed, the Creator now is giving a promise. Indeed, we will return him to you. This is a promise from the Creator, and we'll make him one of the messengers. Second promise. Now, because of her close spiritual connection to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. So this is the first lesson. The first lesson we learn from this story is the importance of the spiritual connection to the Creator. So that when you are going through any trials or any tribulation, once you understand your connection with the Creator, you're going to weather any storm. Number two, when she now puts this child into the basket, she does her part in trying to protect him, and then she relies on the Creator. So reliance on God, reliance on the Creator is one of the most powerful stories, one of the most powerful lessons, that we learn from the story of Moses and the children of Israel. And then in this same chapter 28, verse 13, the first one was from verse 7. In verse 13, look at what the Creator says. Look at the love that Allah, the Creator, has for the mother of Moses. And this is the same kind of love that He has for me and you.
You are listening to the Voice of Islam.
So once we understand the importance of this spiritual connection and relying before anything else, relying on God, on the Creator of the heavens and the earth, then we're going to move on this earth with a sense of confidence, with a sense of spiritual connection, and with a sense of understanding of our purpose. And so this is one of the first and most important lessons that we get from the story of Musa, may peace and blessings of God be upon him, and his mother, may God's blessing be upon her. The second lesson we get from the life of Moses and the children of Israel is, where does he grow up? So Musa, may God's blessings be upon him, grows up in the house of the most corrupt individual during his time. This is a man who was killing babies, right? And so he grows up in the house of Pharaoh. But Moses is not tied to his surrounding psychologically, meaning the fact that he's growing up in the house of this individual, he starts to have the power of discernment. He is able to realize that this individual is not upon righteousness. And so a lot of us, unfortunately, we look at the surrounding that we're in and we don't make the efforts to change, the efforts to improve, the efforts to get better, the efforts to connect ourselves to something bigger, because we feel that, well, since I'm in this environment and everybody doing it, everybody do this and everybody do that, then I am just going to continue along that. But there is something strong that we learn from the life of Musa, may God's blessing be upon him, as to the power of discernment and the power of reflection and the power of understanding, determining and differentiating righteousness from corruption. This is lesson number 2. The third lesson reflects on Moses and his people, the children of Israel. And this lesson is a lesson of don't watch numbers. What do we mean by that? Don't watch numbers. See, a lot of times we are so caught up in what the mass is doing, what the many is doing, that we are not analyzing whether it's the truth or not. We are told in the Quran, in chapter 10, verse 83, the Creator, he says, but none believed in Moses except a few from amongst his people, Why? The Quran, Allah, the Creator, He says, for the fear of Pharaoh and his establishment, that they would persecute them. And indeed, Pharaoh, he was haughty, he was arrogant in the land, and indeed he was of the transgressors. So Moses, even from amongst his people, didn't have a lot of supporters. Why? Because they were fearful of persecution. So a lot of us, we look at the numbers and we would say, why? Now for us, it's not even so much persecution. We are just afraid of it won't be the in thing. People say, "Boy, you're Muslim." It's not the thing that the masses are doing, that the majority are doing. So we prefer to go with the majority. And imagine back then, their fear was, "Boy, this man is going to persecute us." And still, from amongst them were those who said, "Boy, you know what? Persecution or no persecution, truth is truth." And that is going to be one of the lessons we learn also, that ultimately truth will always prevail. This is our next lesson that we're going to touch on. Another lesson that we get from the life of Moses, may peace and blessing of God be upon him, relates to what do you do in the time of fear. You see, a lot of times we all meet fearful situations, things that make us worry, make us fret, don't know how to deal with it. We're looking at, how do I manage, how do I navigate this? What we find is that when Musa, may peace and blessing be upon him, was asked to go and talk to Pharaoh. Now keep in mind, Moses has the truth. He's coming with a message from God. But he's still worried and fearful, and he wants this message to reach to Pharaoh in the best manner. So what does he say? The Quran in chapter 20, verse 25, it shows us that Moses turns to the Creator. And he makes a prayer to the Creator. He says to the Creator, Rabbish Rahli Sadri. And in the English, it says, or what it means is, "Oh my Lord, open my breast, my chest, open it for me. Make me be filled with courage. Make me be able to take this responsibility and to fulfill what you have put as a responsibility on me. Let me be able to achieve this task and to complete this great mission." So what we need to understand is that in difficult times, in fearful times, this idea, some people are going to say, "Oh, then brother, it is natural sometimes that we're going to be fearful." The most important thing that we learn from the story of Moses, or Musa, may God's blessing be upon him, one of the most important things is sometimes you really have to seek that courage from the Most High.
You are listening to the Voice of Islam.
Now, another thing that is so powerful when we look at this story of, Moses is now going to go and talk to Pharaoh and deal with Pharaoh. The Creator of the heavens and the earth says to him in the Quran in chapter 20, verse 43, he says that he and his brother Aaron, Harun, he says, "Go to Pharaoh. He has transgressed all limits. He has done all manner of evil on the earth." But look at what is amazing. Despite the fact that this man has done all manner of evil on this earth, the Creator still recommends and says to Moses, which is a lesson that we all should learn. He says, "And speak to him gently, so that he might, perchance he's going to reflect. He's going to be conscious of God, because him thinking himself to be God." When you go and talk to him with humility. Show him the difference, that the one who has truth with him, with her, don't have arrogance. doesn't walk on this earth with a sense of pride and arrogance, but rather they are humble. They speak to people in respectful manner. They speak to people gently. They're not harsh and hard-hearted with the people, even though they have the truth with them.
You are listening to the Voice of Islam.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what have we been saying? Essentially, we have realized through the story of Musa, may God's blessing be upon him. Number one, the importance of believing in God. Number two is to have this spiritual connection, and how having this spiritual connection with the Creator transforms you in all facets of your life. The next is, do not be defined by, or you are not defined by your environment or circumstances, but you have to have the power of discernment. Number three, don't watch the numbers, don't watch the hype. Don't simply do things because other people are doing it, but seek out righteousness. Number four, fear is okay. It's okay to be fearful, you know. It's okay to fret and worry. But how you deal with it, how you transform it, how you use it as a tool to your advantage. Number five, deal with people and walk on this earth with humility. Just humble yourself, you know, realize that you are but a human being. And so all this arrogance and all of that is not necessary. Look at how you deal with the people. All right. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, be conscious of the Creator, wherever it is that you may find yourself. And when it comes to how you deal with people with the best mannerism. Have the best nature in terms of how you deal with people. Don't let people overstep them bounds with you, you know. But still, deal with them humbly. Deal with them in the best manner as possible. And lastly, the lesson we learned from the story of Moses and the children of Israel is the absolute importance of reliance on the Creator of the heavens and the earth. And as Muslims, we see reliance to be, as the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he put it, he says, have the reliance like the birds. They go out, you know, to seek out the sustenance of God. It's not that they don't stay in them nest and hope the food will come to them. They go out and look for it. But have that kind of reliance. Go out and do the work and actually look and actually make the effort and study and go to the school and read and learn the trade and hustle. Do all of that. But just trust that the Creator is going to do the absolute best for you. This is true reliance. And so, as Muslims, we have, as we said, the utmost love, admiration, and respect for Moses and the children of Israel. And there are so many life lessons. All this that we touched on is barely, but, you know, as people would say, it not even touch anything yet. There are so many more deep lessons when we read the story of Musa, may God's blessing be upon him, in the Quran. And we just wanted to touch on a few. We hope that and pray that you would have gotten some benefit from this. And, you know, as always, you know, here on the Voice of Islam, our aim is to educate, to clarify myths and misconceptions. And we invite you to keep listening to the Voice of Islam and join us next week for another exciting episode. I am your brother in humanity, Sulaiman ibn Musa Tijani, and have a good day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you all for listening to the Voice of Islam, a weekly radio program organized by the Islamic Council of Jamaica to propagate the message of Islam, dispel the common misconceptions about Islam, and facilitate a medium to provide Islamic perspective on topical issues and alternative solutions. Remember, you may collect a free Quran, yes, a free Quran by emailing us, sending a text message, or visiting any of our locations. Please send in your questions and comments to islamradiojm@gmail.com. That's islamradiojm@gmail.com, or by text message to 892-1350. That's 892-1350. You may also visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Islamic Council of Jamaica, or find us on Instagram at ICOJ_official, or you may listen to a past episode on our YouTube channel, Islamic Council of Jamaica. You may also visit any of the following locations: Islamic Council of Jamaica, 24 Camp Road, Kingston 4. Masjidul Aziz, Portmore Central Plaza, West Tradeway, Portmore. Masjidul Rahman, Windsor Road, Spanish Town. Islamic Dawah Center, 1 Makati Street, Montego Bay. Masjidul Hakim, 138 Main Street, Ocho Rios. Masjid As-Sabr, Albany, St. Mary. Masjid Hussein, 3 Miles River, Westmoreland. Masjidul Haq, New Green Road, Mandeville. Masjid An-Nur, Port Maria, St. Mary. Masjidul Ihsan, West End Road, Negril. Masjid At-Taqwa, Newell, St. Elizabeth. Masjid Ibrahim, Riversdale, St. Catherine. Masjid As-Sakina, 26 Miriam Way, Montego Bay. Peace be upon you all. Assalamu alaikum.
الله